My name is Thacze Kuganesan. I'm currently in my third year of study in a molecular biology specialist at UTM. And what I'll be talking about today is how I take my notes and how I eventually use those notes to study. So I like writing all my notes by hand rather than typing. It just lets me write less information on the page since I can't write as fast as I type, and which won't overwhelm me when I study. And it also helps me memorize information as the lecture is happening so that I eventually have to study less. This is especially great for math-based classes and diagram-based classes because you can draw the diagram in the way that works best for your brain. So when I do these handwritten notes, I usually use the outline method, where I write bullet points of each of the things that are mentioned in the lecture. This is very easy to format, and also what I do with this is that if a bullet point follows from another bullet point that has already been mentioned, I indent that bullet point, eventually creating a cluster of knowledge so that it's easy to sort in my mind when it comes to studying. I also like annotating the PowerPoint if the professor has posted it in advance. This way, I don't have to write everything that's on the slide, and I can focus more on what the professor is saying and just write that down, allowing me to listen better. So with this, a great thing to do is use colorful highlighters or colored pens, and because you can sort the information better. And yeah, so what I like to do is keep all my notes in a notebook so that I don't risk losing some of them. And I also use pen rather than pencil in lecture because pen glides along the paper faster, so it helps me increase my writing speed just a little bit. And also, there are many colors of pens so that you can sort knowledge. So now on to how I use my notes to study. This is the most valuable part I find of writing my notes because it lets me use them in a way that is interactive and better for studying. So the first thing I do is I make a review guide from my notes. This is summarizing each of the lectures that have occurred and only picking out the most important points and the things that I don't remember already. This allows me to know what gaps I have in my knowledge, and it also lets me have a big review of what has been learned in the class. So the second thing I do is sometimes, time permitting, I make flashcards or mind maps from my notes. This allows me to also, again, review knowledge by writing it again, and also I can use these resources later for active recall, such as asking myself questions based on the flashcards that I've written. And the third thing that I do is that at the early stages of my studying, I use my notes in order to help me answer practice questions so that I'm actually learning when I'm doing the practice questions rather than writing random answers that may not be correct. And the final thing I'd like to mention is that in the era of COVID, open book exams are becoming a lot more common. And so what I recommend is get very familiar with your notes before an open book exam. That way you're not struggling to flip through all the notes while you're in the exam and you have the maximum time to write the actual exam. Thank you for watching.